I told you last week the NX controller was a fake, and I was right. So the question remains, am I still a time-traveling wizard? All these questions answered and more in Nintendo N90. Let's go! So obviously the big story of the past week was that the NX controller leaks that have been happening are all fake. They're all made up stuff made by people with too much time on their hands, and it was actually pretty interesting. Lots of analysis went into this, and a lot of people were fooled, including maybe us to a certain degree, but it is nice to see that this is not the standard controller for the Nintendo NX. In other news, we had that the Wii U was ending its development cycle in 2016 at the end of this year, which Nintendo quickly came out and debunked. It was a big situation, and it's very interesting to see all of this Nintendo stuff happening, essentially because of the NX. Miitomo is taking Japan by storm and is now #1 on both the iOS and the Android market for the most downloaded piece of software. It's pretty crazy that Nintendo's first entry into the mobile market is doing so well. Sticking with Miitomo news, it looks like the service may be slightly delayed in North America. It was originally intended to come out in March, and now that March tag has been removed from the Miitomo North American website. We'll have more information as it becomes available. Pokmon Tournament was recently released and sold about 70,000 copies in Japan, and also led to the Wii U system sales rising up over 10,000 for the previous week. And finally, I reviewed Hyrule Warriors Legends on the 3DS and gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed the game, and if you have a new 3DS, in my opinion, it's actually better than the Wii U version because of the added extras. Make sure you check out my video review for that. Now before we get into what does this all mean, let's toss it over to Jason with the Indie Corner.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to your weekly Indie Corner news. Here's what's new in the indie world for both the Wii U and the 3DS. If you're a Castlevania fan and you haven't heard of the game Slain yet, you should really look into it. A new trailer just dropped last week showing a lot more badass in this game. It's a 2D action-adventure game. It's heading to the Wii U this summer, and you can expect a lot of gore for horror fans, lots of bosses, and a lot of dying. Next up, we got a teaser image for 80s Overdrive, which is coming to the 3DS. Now this game is a throwback to the classic arcade racing games like Daytona USA. Unfortunately, all we have is this teaser image to go by, so there's not much more information on it, but it looks like a really cool racer. Over the last week, we got a new trailer for the game Mechazoo, which is coming to the Wii U later this year. Now this game is a 2D platformer in which you use different power-ups from animals to traverse the levels in really fun ways. It has 3D artwork, looks stunning, and just looks like a blast to play through. Also making headlines last week, Azure Striker Gunvolt has passed the 150,000 units sold on the 3DS. This might be a good reason why we're seeing a sequel coming this summer. Have you tried the game? Finally, if you're looking for something to celebrate Easter with, Natsume has your back with an Easter sale. Any game on the eShop from Natsume is 50% off until March 31st. I personally recommend you guys try one of the Harvest Moon titles. They are great games, and I think there's 3 of them on the eShop right now. That's all the indie news I have for you guys this week. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep on playing indie. Back over to you, Sean.
Alright, so what does this all mean? It's pretty simple, honestly. I told you guys that I did not feel that that controller was real, even though a lot of time and effort went into designing those 2 fake controllers. They're both fake. We still know nothing about the Nintendo NX, and maybe it's best that it stays that way. Honestly, all these rumors are actually helping Nintendo. I see a lot of people on the internet saying, oh, well, this is bad for Nintendo. They need to come out and address this. Do they really? I'm kind of a firm believer in out of sight, out of mind. If nobody was talking about Nintendo, nobody would really care about the NX. But the fact that these rumors become so popular and that people are so hungry for information just shows that the NX has a ton of potential, and if Nintendo does it right, they're really setting themselves up in a good situation, which is a good thing because they do have a bit of a slight uphill battle against the Xbox One and the PS4. It's nice to see Pokmon Tournament selling well in Japan. Hopefully it remains that way in North America. Still haven't picked it up yet, but I plan on it very soon. And the Wii U discrepancy with, ending production, I always thought it was kind of fake, because even if it wasn't fake, it doesn't matter. At the end of the year, if they decided to stop Wii U system sale or production, it really wouldn't matter because you would still have a stockpile of systems. That doesn't mean that games aren't being created for it. So it's not a huge deal, even if that was the case, but of course it's not. Once again, it is good that people are talking so heavily about Nintendo though. And like I said, if you have a new 3DS and you are a Hyrule Warriors fan on the Wii U, you might want to check out Hyrule Warriors Legends. I really enjoyed the game, and I feel it's the best version of the game. And that's going to do it for this week's show. There is no Class vs. Crafts tomorrow. Have a happy Easter or whatever you want to celebrate, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.